Folks, 17 stitches in my armpit. That's how bad I wanted to use every last bit of that deodorant. Ever since Susie and I set out to start new creative business ventures, things have gotten a little hectic. As you know, her Etsy store is rocking, with designer tinfoil hats featuring little bows and ribbons. Susie is even producing a new tinfoil yarmulke for those who are both God's chosen people and those most likely to be chosen for random Russian messaging. I, on the other hand, have failed at nearly everything. I could not get a loan for any of my business ideas, including a centralized seafood distributor called Prawn Hub, or a bar for mountain goats called Horn Pub, or a place to wash your grains called Corn Tub. Looks like I'm back to plotting my revenge against that elementary school crossing guard who laughed at my mom's special haircut in first grade. If there's one thing I'm good at, it's holding grudges. And if there were a second thing I was good at, it would be maintaining a vast collection of cologne bottles with just a splash of liquid left, just in case I really need to go out of the house smelling like Curve on one of my frequent trips to AutoZone or Chipotle. Anyway, I'm happy to be back on the show, and even happier that you are here with me. Wherever you are, we are together. Again. Forever. Today, on Please Excuse My Dead Aunt Sally, a recent hack exposes the unedited versions of all of your food pictures, and a deck of playing cards made up entirely of the one card that is missing from 52 other decks. How much less would tampons cost if every box did not include instructions? Thank you for listening today. I'm Mike, and things are really picking up around here, and I'm feeling renewed. It's not just that I wear a nightgown at all times, even when I visit the grocery store or restaurant, like the mom from Berenstain Bears. It's the little things, like waking up early enough to flip off my neighbors, and embracing my cat's desire to watch me shower. Life is not always easy, but it doesn't have to be miserable. Why, just the other day, I gave a nice old homeless gentleman an entire box of half-used Sharpies so he could make creative new signs. Over in the fake world of the internet, Facebook is now banning all sorts of people, including Damian Cash, who is famous for his argument that autism is caused by parents who don't love each other. Facebook has announced that their next move will be to ban people who type the phrase, "that being said," as well as anyone who clicks like on vague, attention-hungry posts stating, "I can't believe this is happening to me," but don't say, "Hey, what's going on? Are you all right?" In local news, the shittiest neighbors I've ever had parked a moving truck in front of a fire hydrant as they packed up and shipped off 103 cubic yards of hoarder filth. I didn't bother to ask where they were going. I just assumed it was back to New Mexico or Pennsylvania or one of those other places that exclusively breeds Bravo Network quality caricatures of real people. And now for some listener questions. To have your question answered on the show, write to pleaseexcusemydeadauntSally@gmail.com. Our first question comes from Sarah in Bakersfield, California. Sarah writes, "Hey Mike, who is worse, people who take food out of the microwave before it stops, then don't press clear, or people who back into parking spaces but can't do it properly? Love the show," from Sarah. Excellent question, Sarah. Savage, impatient people whose failure to estimate the appropriate amount of time it takes to heat up a burrito are bad enough, but they are certainly doubling down on their constant antagonistic ignorance by pressing stop or just opening the microwave door prior to the approving ding sound. And they are going all in on their silly dumminess when they leave the unused time displayed. This can only be exacerbated by the likelihood that the balance resembles a time of day, thus adding to the confusion. But this doesn't even come close to the serial parking spot backing up into her dude. That guy is a roach kisser for sure. And by the way, today's episode of Please Excuse My Dead Aunt Sally is brought to you by Dickhead Bill's Backing into Parking Spaces Driving School. Are you one of those dummies who feels they have to back into every parking space every time, but never learned how to do it correctly on the first or even the sixth try? Learn how to stop ruining the days of strangers around you with the time-consuming buffoonery and do it correctly on the first shot. That's Dickhead Bill's Backing into Parking Spaces Driving School for dummies like that guy. Our final question today comes from Richard in Edinburgh, Scotland. Richard writes, "Honestly, Mike, what's your favorite movie?" Thank you for the question, Richard. My favorite movie is Follow That Bird, the cautionary tale of a broken adoption system and accepting rides from strangers who literally have a giant cage with a truck attached to it for a primary vehicle. Well, that's all for today's show. Join us next week when I discuss my attempt to read the Mueller report in Braille.
Music for today's episode was produced by Kevin MacLeod. Please continue to send listener questions to pleaseexcusemyddeadaunt.Sally@gmail.com or reach us on social media.
Kai, that sounded so good.
What is this about? Who are you? What are you doing? What do you want?
I hate this place. Nothing works here.
Hey, you're a f***ing idiot. We're all doing that. Bye-bye.